Hey, 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 guess what I'm doing today? That's right, I'm playing Whitney a game of horse in basketball. So, to make this interesting, text me. Text me Cagle if you think I'm gonna win, or text Whitney to me if you think Whitney's gonna win. Now, the whole point of this is to let you know that I am still living life and I'm still enjoying it even though the coronavirus has changed our lives. So it's like this. I'm playing horse today with Whitney. I'm going to jump on the trampoline. I'm going to do about 100 setups. Now, this is true. After I do those 100 setups, there's a good chance there might not be any more math videos for you because that might be the death of me. Something else I did the other day is I planted some plum trees. Whitney loves plums, and just so happened my neighbor has plum trees, and they sprouted some small ones out beside her big plum tree. Gone fishing. I started reading a new book last night. So it is called, this is the book I'm reading. Also am prepping for my garden. Look at this. This I planted from seeds and they have sprouted. And this is squash. So when it gets dry enough, I'll put them in my garden. I've been purging. What does that mean? You know, like going through drawers and cabinets and getting everything cleaner. I've been grading, making videos. I've been busy. So I haven't had time to be bored. So this is what I want you to do. Send me a picture. I'll put it on my YouTube video. And this is a picture of you and your friends. You're living life. Don't just not do anything. Be proactive. Still learn. So send me that picture and also send me Cagle or Whitney, whoever you think's going to win the horse game. Okay, now I'm ready to get started on our lesson. So today we're learning something completely different. So y'all, the test, I graded those. They were excellent. So if you haven't finished your videos, it's not too late to get caught up. Hey, get caught up, send them to me. Today we're learning how to complete the square. This is lesson 10, April the 14th. Complete the square. Now, first of all, I want to do a little bit of reviewing. Quadratic. Well, what is a quadratic? Basically an x squared problem. The highest exponent is a 2. X squared problem. And we know, like, if you were to graph the x squared problem, it would be a parabola. There's 3 main ways to work a quadratic problem. We learned the third one today. The first way we learned to work a quadratic, an x squared, was this formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a. Another way to work a quadratic is factor. Factor, skip, factor. But then another way to work a quadratic is called complete the square. And that's what we're going to start on today, and I talk more about it again tomorrow. All right, so let's do an example. I have written down the steps over here for you for for completing the square, so I'll be referring back to those. I only have 2 examples. The first one is x squared plus 10x minus 11 and equal 0. All right, now here we go. So the first step is to make sure you have an invisible 1 in front of your x squared. And the thing about it today, they all have that invisible 1 in front of x squared. Okay, so now let's check. Invisible 1 in front of x squared. Number 2, move the number and draw a plus and a blank on each side. And you go, I don't get it. You will. Okay, so keep your x's. And I'm going to draw a plus and a blank on this side. And your negative 11 becomes a positive 11. Just drop my 0 and draw a plus and a blank on that side. So let me say that again. What did I do? I moved my number over and I drew a plus and a blank on both sides. Because whatever you add to one side, you have to add to the other side because it's an equation. You've got to keep it balanced. Now you've got to figure out what number needs to go in that blank. Okay, let me explain that to you. You look at the number in front of it and you take half of that number. Now, how do you take half of a number? Divide by 2. So what's half of 10? 5. Okay, then what do? You've got to square it. So 5 squared is 25. So look, half of the number and then square that number. So half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. So you have to add 25 to both sides. Well, then what do? Well, this side you're going to factor, skip, factor. And the other side you're going to combine like terms. So when we factor, skip, factor, we need 2 sets of parentheses. So x squared is x times x. Skip over the middle. Plus sign means same kind of signs. Look back to see which one. Plus, plus. 2 numbers that multiply give you 25, but add to give you 10. That would be 5 times 5. And let me give you a hint. These two are always going to be the same. Because the next step, you have to rewrite it. Those are always the same. And then on the other side, you get 36. Now, we're right here, number 5. Rewrite with 1 parentheses and put an exponent of 2. Okay, rewrite with 1 set of parentheses. And how many of those do you have? You have 2 of them. So that's why you rewrite it as a squared. Equal 36. We're on step 6 now. How do you undo a square? It's called inverse. To undo a square, you take a square root. So if you take the square root of this side, you have to take the square root of that side. The square root and the square cross-cancel each other out. Drop the parentheses because you don't need them anymore. And you got x plus 5 equal. Now be careful with this. What's the square root of 36? Yeah, 6? No. Plus or minus 6. All right. So you got to put the plus or minus, then the 6. You're right here. Solve. What does solve mean? Keep your x, move your number to the other side. I think I'm going to actually move it in front of my 6. So this is going to be x equal, the positive 5 becomes a negative 5, and then plus or minus 6. Now I'm almost out of room, so I'm going to have to erase, so just bear with me for a minute. And I'll bring this back up so that you can see it better. So this is my step right there. Now, we know that numbers add and subtract with other numbers, so we can keep going. Use the plus sign first. Negative 5 plus 6. that is going to give you positive 1, comma, negative 5 minus 6 gives you negative 11. And let me remind you what those are. Though the answers are called the x-intercepts. And tomorrow I'll probably take the time to graph that for you so you'll know what the answers really are. They're the x-intercepts, where the parabola crosses the x-axis is what you just found. Now, let me do another example just to make sure. Alright, so here we go. These steps over here are really good. They help you work through the problem, and then it becomes automatic, then you don't need those steps. Alright, example 2 looks something like this. You have x squared minus 12x plus 5 equals 0. Now this one will go a little faster. It always does. Step 1, do you have a 1 in front of your x squared? Well, yes, I do. Okay, check. Number 2, move the number and draw a plus sign and a blank on both sides. So look, move the 5. So that positive 5 is going to become a negative 5. And yes, I'm dropping the 0 because I can. Had that been any other number, I could not have dropped it. So I'm going to go x squared minus 12x plus a blank equal positive 5 becomes negative 5 and draw plus a blank. Now that just leads you into your next step. You got a blank? Well, then you need to fill in the blank. How do you fill in the blank? Take half of the number in front of it. What is half of 12? 6. Okay, so you're adding 6? No, no, no. You've got to square it. Take half and then square it. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. So you're adding 36 to both sides. We're on step 4, factor, skip, factor. Now, do you remember what I just told you? That these have to be the same. X squared is x times x. Skip over the middle. Plus sign means they're going to be the same kind of signs. You have to look back to see which one. So minus, minus. Two numbers that multiply give you 36, but add to give you 12. And it has to be the same number. So that's 6 times 6. Now, negative 5 plus 36 is 31. You are on step 5. Rewrite with a parentheses and square it. Why? Because you got 2 of them. So you're going to rewrite with 1 parentheses and then square it. And your Algebra 1 skills just start kicking in because every time you see a square, you should be thinking inverse, square root. So you're going to take a square root. You're going to cross cancel. Drop the parentheses because you don't need them anymore. X minus 6 equal plus or minus the square root of 31. And I know what you're thinking, whoa! Well, 31 is not a perfect square. If you try to factor treat its prime, 31 times 1. So there's nothing you can do with 31, so you have to leave it like that. Now, the last step is just to solve for x. Well, what does that mean? Well, again, I'm going to rewrite it so maybe you can see it better. Okay, so solve for x. So that means keep your x, move your number to the other side. So x equal negative 6 becomes a positive 6 plus or minus the square root of 31. Now let me ask you this. Can you combine the 6 with the square root of 31? The answer is absolutely not. Radicals only add with other radicals. Numbers only add with other numbers. You can't combine them, then you have to leave it. So this is your final answer for this problem. And you go, that answer are called x-intercepts. It would be decimals, crossing the x-axis, the parabola, through decimals. Okay, hey, another good day in Algebra 1. Got you 5 little problems here. Okay, so let's see here if I can. Oh, yeah. So looky there. Name, date, lesson 10. Please label all of that. There it is. It's only 5 problems. What a good deal today. Hey, don't forget to send me a text. Either Cagle or Whitney. May the best basketball player win. Also, send me a picture. Hey, I'm still living life, Miss Cagle, and I'm still enjoying it. Okay, no time to be bored. Life is too short. I want you to get out there and do something. So I will see you tomorrow, and I will let you know who wins, me or Whitney. And I promise you, I will do the very best that I can do. All right, see you guys later. Bye.